President Trump talking tough on steel, saying China and other countries are destroying the industry here in the U.S., and he even went as far as to hint that maybe, just maybe, he'll slap quotas and tariffs on the industry. Here to discuss, Bob Cusack and Mike Gonzalez. Welcome to you both. Bob, I'll start with you. We know that domestic steel mills are operating at 71% of capacity. I think in the heartland, people understand this from their gut, right? They're living it. And on the coast, everybody's like, why is this a big deal? Explain to us why this is a national security issue.
Well, it's a national security for a number of reasons, and I think national security is the reason that Trump is mixing both kind of domestic and international foreign policy. Remember, you look at the big picture. Trump won largely because of trade. Bernie Sanders almost won his nomination because of trade. So he has to give back to those states in the manufacturing that have been hurt by trade, as he says, horrendous deals. Now, whether he goes forward with it, I don't know. Remember, he was giving China a break on currency because he wanted China to lean on North Korea. Well, now he's not happy with China, so he's going back after China. And I think also, this obviously is a Steve Bannon idea, and it sounds like he's going to do it because he's talking a lot about it.
Mike, is this just purely political at this point? Is this payback to China? Or is there a real reason to rethink what has been economic philosophy among the Republicans for decades?
Look, I mean, it's not a question of ideology. It's penalizing ourselves if we make our steel users, which are, widespread throughout many of our industries, pay higher prices for a product that they need. There are ways to handle a rapacious trade partner like China, and if we detect that they're trying to destroy our industry, there are measures that we could take. We could, for example, we could make them, accept the terms of a trade deal, but to slap tariffs on something that it's used throughout our industry, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, and this is exactly what I've heard from Wall Street economists for decades. It's got to be about global trade. It's got to be a free and fair trade. That's what they called it. But that's not exactly how Americans perceive it. Bob, to you. The Alliance for American Manufacturing says that America's entire aluminum and steel industries could disappear, is what they're saying. They're saying that's what's at stake. Do you believe it's that dire?
Well, I'm not an economist, but at the same time, I do think when we talk to economists, this would be extremely risky. It could trigger a trade war. And remember, if you look at the economy, energy prices, the stock market, et cetera, it's doing quite well. And I think that is Trump's card that he can play when people say, well, your agenda hasn't moved, but the economy is most important. But, he's renegotiating NAFTA. We're going to see a big announcement on that next week. This is consistent with what he campaigned on, and it certainly is making a lot of people in Washington and on Wall Street nervous.
Mike, do you agree?
Yeah, I would say I would agree entirely. This has been a very healthy stock rally. We saw stocks that do very well today again. They did very well yesterday. If we have a big trade war with China, especially on something as fundamental as steel, I think, I'm not making any predictions here on stocks, but I can't see how we would hurt across the board.
I love those stock market numbers. We show them all the time. It goes up, up, up. My husband every morning says to me, Jerry, how about those stocks? It's a good thing to see. It's great to have both of you guys on here. Bob and Mike, thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.